I'm going to, like, you will find little nuggets in my work about politics or just the political landscape. Because I think it's important because 20, 30 years from now, I want when someone picks up my work that they get a sense of the times. So I wish to capture the zeitgeist when I write. So, yeah.
Okay. You mentioned a bit about when you kind of set the scene for when you're going to start a poem. So, you know, you get into your zone and you give thanks. And do you have any other specific kind of writing practices that you do? Do you have a set time for writing, or do you just write when you're inspired? Or any other writing practices that you don't mind sharing?
Okay, so I don't have a routine. Um, that is mainly because I don't know how to be consistent. But I do have a ritual. So whenever
Yeah.
yeah, so when I have to work on a project for, like, let's say 2 weeks. So every day for that week, I wake up, I meditate, I do some kind of movement. So I'll either go walking or do my stretches, and that gets me in the zone. Um, yes, so I will light an incense, light a candle, get my music playing, jazz, blues, anything with African drums in there. It gets my writing flowing. Um, Research, yes, let's not forget research. I have to research before I sit to write. Because research is very important to me. What else? What else? Um,
Yeah, I have to say you're you sound way more disciplined than me. I think I need to take some tips from you about setting the scene for getting into the mindset for the muse to visit. So I think I'm going to take a leaf out of your tips there. But
no,
so that's how you start. And then what about ending a poem? I don't know about you, but sometimes I tweak a poem after it's been published. So how do you know, for you, how do you know when a poem has ended as far as you're concerned?
Okay, it is becoming more and more difficult to know when my poems are done. And that is because I experiment so much with form and language. But um, I think I'm content with a poem when it feels right to my spirit. So after I have left it, like I've given it distance, and there's a thing that we say, my cousins and I, we always say that let it simmer. So you leave your work, so you leave the poem for, let's say, 2 weeks, and you come back to it. And when, like, I always try to read my work out loud. So I read the poem out loud maybe 3 or 4 times, and if it feels right, like it reads like I like the flow of the poem, and there's nothing to change, then that's fine. Like, it's done. But
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, if it doesn't roll off my tongue like it should, then something isn't right. I need to go back and I'll let it simmer some more. So yeah.
So on that front, do you actively seek out feedback for your poems, or for you is it just, you know, your major thing first is, does it feel right to me?
Yes, it has to feel right to me first. But I do believe in feedback. I like asking fellow writers, like my contemporaries, how they feel about this, how you feel about this line. So I like doing that. Feedback means a lot to me, but the poem has to feel right to me first.
Okay, I like that. So yes, you mentioned about your 2 published poetry collections. Can you tell us a little bit about how you published them? What method you used for publishing?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I used a website called Blurb. Blurb. It's online. Also, if you search for book write, it should come up as well. So it can be tricky, but it's very simple to use. So you work on your manuscript and then you upload it to um, to the software, and then you do your layout in the software itself, and then you're able to publish through Bloom. So they set up like the online, like the storefront for you, and you're also able to uh, put your work on Amazon to be sold. But it's very simple. That's what I use for both collections, and I think I'll use it again.
Is it what aspect of that kind of do you like? Like for me, I published a beer, self-published a beer through Amazon, and I love that. I really like that control because there were certain things that I really wanted to do, even like the date I wanted it published. So for you, what are the reasons that you chose to publish your collections that way?
Yeah, for me it was the control and the freedom as well, because I knew that if I went to a traditional publishing house, I wouldn't have as much freedom as I wanted with Bonfire. And like I had this specific vision for it, and I didn't want any entity to interfere with that. Also, um, the rights, the rights. I wanted to be in charge of my royalties, so I went.
Yeah, those are key points. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was very important to me.
Okay, thank you. And did you have, would you say through that process, you know, because one of the things when you go that way, so much is on you, so much responsibility on you then for the whole process. So did you have any kind of difficulties that you don't mind sharing that others can benefit from understanding some of the issues that might occur?
Mm, yes, yes. There was one issue at first with Bonfire, like the way the software is set up, not just the software, but the way the storefront is set up. So when I listed it on Bookwise, and I selected the option for it to be sold on Amazon, there was a percentage button that I didn't click.
Ah.
So when I had my first sale on Amazon, I think I believe it was 20 books. I believe it was 20 books. I didn't get anything from that.
Oh no. So those are some of the things that writers, when they decide to go down that route, they need to just so much more they need to pay attention to, I guess, right?
Yeah, you need to read the fine print.
Yeah. And the fact that, you know, as introverted people as well, sometimes, you know, when you self-publish, the whole marketing side is very tricky. So how do you overcome that with your self-publishing books? What do you do about marketing? I know you have things like your Substack. Maybe you can tell us what kind of things you do for making sure that your books get seen by your readers, your audience.
Yeah. So with Bonfire, I wish I knew more about marketing at the time. So with Off Rivers and Oceans, I did better. So I posted on Instagram more. I had YouTube videos out, uh, and my friends,
Yeah.
they were posted all the time. But definitely Substack or wherever you blog, that's a good way to help with marketing. Like you can actually link your storefront to your, if you use Blogger, you can just link your storefront to Blogger, or you can put the link on Substack if that's what you do.
Okay, cool. And so you mentioned one of the kind of not so the kind of one of the low points of publishing. Can you remember, is there a memory of like a particular high point on your publishing journey that you remember?
Yeah, yeah. For me, one of the high points is, well, definitely my book launches. Like I just have so much, like the memory of both of those events. Like I hold it very dear, mainly because like it was just humbling to see so many people show up for a writer, um, and then just to have people walk up to you and say, "I love your work." Like they don't know you, but I love your work. Like that means a lot. That was, yeah. So my book launches for sure.
Okay. And we were talking about feedback, and but do you have a particular person or mentor? Have you had a mentor for your poetry, or how did you learn? How did you learn your craft? What kind of ways did you actually learn your poetic craft?
Oh yeah. Yes, I'll answer the mentor question first. I do have a mentor. My mentor at this time, and I think for the last 4 years, is Dr. Steinberg Henry. Um, well, I've just learned so much from him, not just about writing, but he has taught me to hold like a deep reverence for life
Mm-hmm.
that will translate into your writing. So that's one of the things I just remember like about Dr. Henry. And I call him Stein. I call him Stein. But yeah, my craft, I try to do as many writing workshops as possible. Well, and you already know that I majored in literature in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I just try to stay on top of everything. Keep. Oh, I read a lot.
Yeah, that's always good. Yeah.
I read a lot of poetry, so that just keeps me on my toes, keeps everything fresh in my mind. I try to
Okay.
do, I try to do one skill share every every quarter, but if I miss it, I'll try to do it like twice a year.
What's a Skillshare?
Skillshare, it's a website where you learn skills, but you can
Oh, okay.
but there are master classes for writing. There are courses for writing on there.
Right. I hadn't come across that one. So cool. And do you ever experience writer's block? And I know that's something some writers talk about. Whether that's something you experience, and if you do, what do you do about it? Do you have any advice for writers who do experience that?
Okay, so right now I cannot say that I experience writer's block, but I used to in the past. And I I've come to the realization that the block is there for a reason, and you have to work on that reason. So whether you are afraid of something or you're afraid of writing something like that, like you have to sit with that and work on it. Right now, I really cannot say that I experience writer's block. Like I'm just so grateful to be so prolific. Like there are times that I have to take a pause. Like I'll take a break because I'm exhausted. Like that, and that can lead to burnout too. Like always writing can lead to burnout. So I've learned to take breaks. So I'll say I'm not writing for a month or 2 months. And the last time I did that, it went on for almost a year. But it
Yeah.
wasn't writer's block. I was just exhausted.
Yeah, that's an important point, because it's something that is not so often talked about, I think, especially with poetry writing, because it can be so potent and intense that yeah, you can. It's so important for self-care. So thanks for mentioning that it's important to think about breaks as well. So
I sorry. Well, I often tell my friends that writing in general, well, the themes that I write about, it is heavy lifting, and you have to find ways to take care of your mind and body. Yeah.
yeah, that's so important. So yeah, and you're a creative person generally, right? You do art and things like that, and you mentioned short stories as well. Is there anything? Is there a particular thing that poetry gives you that that the other types of creative activities don't, that you can only find with poetry?
Yeah, really good question. I like that question. For me, it's catharsis. I just find poetry to be so therapeutic. It is not therapy, but I find it therapeutic. But that's why I write about healing so much in my poetry. I guess just something about poetry that is magical. Like it takes you to another world, and also like it brings you just so much healing, and you're able to say a lot with so little words, and that is important for me. Like I really appreciate that about poetry.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And you mentioned that you were is it a secondary school teacher at one point? And
Yeah.
what has been your experience of poetry in schools, and like how poetry gets taught to students? What students, especially in the Dominica context, what students think about poetry? What has been your personal experience of that?
Okay. So generally, my students at the senior level, they enjoy the poetry. Generally, that was my experience. In the lower levels, they had difficulties connecting. Okay, so the context, they had difficulties with the context and the difficulty levels. So I think that is very important to start with the low level difficulty poems and then gradually you increase the level of difficulty. I think that's important when teaching poetry to students. In my experience, if they don't enjoy it in the lower levels, by the time they get to the senior level, they just have this grit. Like it's almost
Yeah,
as if they detest
yeah.
poetry. And I
Mhm.
just couldn't understand it at first, but after a while, like after you've been in the system, like you understand it. So I would definitely say context. So giving them more local poems or Caribbean poems, that definitely helps. And when they have to write their own poems, with the prompts, I try to give them local prompts as well. Prompts that will, like for instance, I will ask them to write poems with images of mangoes because who doesn't love mangoes?
Tell me.
Or any dominating fruit. Um, so I'll try to get them to write poems about our local Dominican context, and that helps. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that if you inspire them and let them see the play, I think as well, because sometimes I think it can be taught so seriously,
Yeah.
and sometimes the play aspect I think gets lost, and it becomes like, especially in a school environment. So yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, thank you. Um, so, as a writer living in Dominica, you know, there's advantages and disadvantages. What would you say are some of the advantages and disadvantages writing from our island?
Um, for me, it's definitely being surrounded by nature. So I love that I can just step out, step out from the house, go sit under a mango tree, yeah, and get some inspiration from all of that. And definitely the slow living. I think that's important for me. I'm not sure about others, but slow living helps me to write more, as opposed to that busy lifestyle in the bigger countries. I think, yeah, slow living and being surrounded by nature, these are definitely advantages for them. And the people. Let's not forget the people.
Yeah, yeah, that's a key aspect.
Yeah, let's not forget the people. Dominicans are some of the most loving people I've ever met.
Yes. Have we lost Anella?
Okay, I'm there.
Oh, you're there? Okay, great, great. So you were just saying the people's that you know that's an important aspect as well. And what are some of the disadvantages you think in terms of the whole aspect of writing, the market, the publishing, the marketing, etc. Are there any disadvantages you think being here?
Yes, for sure. I think that every profession comes with disadvantages, but one of the disadvantages I think I want to mention is I don't think writers or creatives are valued enough in Dominica. And like if we seek to solve just that one disadvantage, I think we can solve a lot of other things for writers and creatives.
Yeah. Hopefully, we've got some discussion panels as part of the Write-Tukubui festival. So hopefully we can talk about some of those things in those Lit Vibes panels. So personally, I'm really interested about your Substack. So, what made you decide to do Substack, and how are you finding it as a platform for marketing? Is it working for you? Are you enjoying using it?
Yes, before Substack, I used to write on Blogger, but I'm not sure what happened. Like the user interface was no longer friendly, so I stopped blogging for a while. Um, in 2022, I just felt like I needed a home for my writings, somewhere to put all my musings. So when I stumbled on Substack, I was like, this is nice. This would be a good fix. And at first, like I was just posting on, but I wasn't like sharing the links or anything. Like I was just posting into a void, whatever. And then I think people started finding me, and I was like, oh, this is nice. Yeah, so I would have like I have readers in Germany, Morocco, the US, and I would also like to mention that for now, 50% of my readers come from Dominica. And I think that's amazing.
Aw. Woo. That is cool. That is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So at first, it was just a place to put my writing, and now I use it to connect with people.
Yeah.
It's not really a marketing tool for me per se, but I just like being on there and connecting with other writers from other countries. It helps. It works.
Yeah, I enjoy reading your posts, and I like the variety of your posts as well. You do different types of posts. So yeah, I enjoy it. So we just got a couple more questions. So thank you so much. Just got a couple more questions for you, if you don't mind. And I just wondered if there's anything you're working on at the moment that you don't mind sharing with us.
Yes, definitely. You can expect something.
I like that.
You can expect something soon. It's in the layout stage, and I'm telling you, it's going to be quite a treat. So it's a mix of poetry and prose. And when I was writing it, I really wanted it to feel like nostalgia and home. So you're going to get all of that in this collection.
Well, I am looking forward to that. Are you allowed to say the name, or you want to keep that? You want to keep that to yourself for now?
Uh, yes, sure. I can mention the title. So the title is Feels Like Home.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm feeling that. That's cool. So, just the last two questions, Anela. Then, so can you tell me what was the best writing advice you've ever received? The best piece of writing advice, and what's the worst piece of writing advice that you ever received?
Okay, my favorite piece of writing advice, I would say, well, I can't quote it word for word, but it's something along the lines of seeing language as an ecosystem, seeing language as like a living, breathing entity. And I think that has just changed my perspective on not just language, but writing. Like when you think of every single word that you put on the page as a living, breathing entity, it changes the way that you write. Like it just gives you good reverence for writing and every single word that you choose. So yeah.
That's so funny. I just got to say, because that's so funny you should say that, because a long time ago I had this dream that letters were like these entities in the space. So just you saying that, it's like, woo! So yeah. And so what would you say would be the worst piece of advice that you received?
I don't know that I've gotten bad advice, but I would say that my least favorite advice that I've gotten is find a niche. Find a niche. Yeah, I think that's my least favorite because it's kind of difficult for me to choose a niche. I like writing whatever is on my heart, like whatever
Yeah.
comes to me. Like I want to build it. I want to bring it to life. I shouldn't have to stifle it because it doesn't fit a particular niche. So I like poetry. I like poems. And I just want to write whatever feels right. So I don't want to. I don't want. I don't ever want to find a niche.
Yeah, I'm not one for boxes and labels, so I'm with you on that one. The least boxes and labels that we have, the least tying up. I'm all for freedom
Yeah, yeah.
myself. So yeah, I like that. So I just have one more question, and you can also just say if there's anything else that we haven't covered that you want to share, feel free. But I just wanted to ask, is there any advice for somebody starting on their writing journey, whether it is, poetry or short stories, whatever age, young, is there, new to the scene, is there any advice you want to offer?
Yes, definitely. I would say give it a try because you never know where it can lead you. Because look at me. Um, so definitely try to get your feet wet. Read as much poetry books as you can. Listen to perform poetry. Find a mentor. Find a right. Well, if it's poetry like me, find whatever you're interested in. Find books on that. If it's short stories, if it's poetry, that's fine. Find a mentor, someone who can help you along the way. Um, so yeah, try to get your feet wet at first, slowly, and then if it's something that you like, I say go for it. Immerse yourself in the world of poetry, the world of short stories, whatever you choose to write. Immerse yourself in that. Um, yeah. So if you're interested in writing poetry, I recommend that you read some of Celia Sorrento's books. I also recommend looking up poets if that's your thing. Jasmine Mans for sure. Andrea Gibson. There's so many poets that I like. I can't
Yeah,
I can possibly name all of them right now. But for
I
sure,
know.
check out those books. I just love her work so much.
Thank you for that. And it's always, it can be, I don't know for you, but it can be so quiet sometimes, I think. Um, the experience can be so quiet. So, you know, when you hear from other people, and it's always so nice. So yeah. So anything else you wanted to add before we closed off? I will just say to all those listening, I'm hoping Anela will be part of a Lit Vibes panel where we're going to be talking about book distribution. So whenever you're watching this, just check the YouTube channel and see if you can find that Lit Vibes discussion. So, and anything else, Anela, that you wanted to say before we sign off?
Mm, thank you for having me on. Um, thank you for the viewers for viewing. And you know, I always say that writing is a lonesome profession. I wish it wasn't, but it is a lonesome profession. But I wish it wasn't lonely. So whenever you read any writer's work and you feel a connection, you're able to connect with it, or even like it just resonates. Please let them know. Yeah, some of us
Yeah.
really like hearing from the readers. So thank you for having me, Celia.
Yeah, well, Write-Tukubui, yes, absolutely. Thank you for joining the virtual literary festival, and thank you viewers for watching and listening. And just a reminder, you know, to if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Write-Tukubui YouTube channel, and please check out all the events that we're going to be showing. And most importantly, as Anela says, you know, writers we need as much encouragement and support. So please, if there's a video that you like, please share it on your social media, share it with your friends and family. And if you're using social media, check out the hashtags Write-Tukubui and Write-Tukubui 2025. And if you're sharing anything, please share with those hashtags as well. And thank you again for your time and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Okay. And to my family, thank you to everyone who has supported me on this journey. It hasn't been easy, but I'm just grateful for where I am right now. And my friends, they have been so supportive. So everyone who has contributed in one way or another, thank you. I appreciate it. Where I come from. I come from Write-Tukubui, a windward island in the Lesser Antilles, the nature isle of the Caribbean. No, not Dominican Republic, Dominica. Isle of Siwo and land of the Bouillon. I come from lemongrass and simekotwa, ginger and basilic, and cocoa tea. I come from Puev and Chuk Chuk. I come from saltfish and hawuso, plantains and pepper, kalaloo soup and fish broth. I come from coconut cheese and tablets. I come from WCK, First Serenade, Midnight Groovers, Jeff Joe, It Is Well With My Soul, and yes, Jesus Loves Me. I come from Superstition and Prayer, Jel Labushri and Lache Lamui, Wakes, All Night Prayer, and Bible Study. I come from cocoa butter and castor oil. I come from Glory Cedar and Palm Coulis. I come from blue soap and bleach. I come from tongue lashings and tambourine whips. I come from sugar apple, palm city, coconut palms and guava trees. I come from sugar and spice and everything nice.
Thank you, Anela, and thank you for your words. Yes.
Hi, I am Vicky from the lovely community of Calibishi. I'm also known as Selena Rose, the indie author of 5 poetic collections. These collections can be found on Amazon. I write because I find everything around me inspiring and I write freely to express myself, hoping that in some ways my words can impress or inspire, motivate others. My books are Island Girl Affection, Cherished Virtues, Resilient Rose, Paradise Isle, and Exotic Perspective. Island Girl Affection is based on the theme of love, love for self, love for nature, love for everything. Cherished Virtues is based on the theme of gratitude and thanks. You always have to be grateful for things and people that surround you. Resilient Rose is a personal collection that features Becoming Strong, my journey as an author to becoming who I am today. Exotic Perspective and Paradise Isle. Paradise Isle first, and then Exotic Perspective. Those are two of a 3-book series, the Rose Write-Tukubui poetic series, and this collection features verses that highlights the beauty of Dominica along with photos. So if you like travel, discovering nature, and most importantly love Dominica, and you're a touristic fan and looking for a souvenir, these 2 books are a wonderful piece of souvenir for you. Check them out.
Let's read Islander Affection, a poem called Kalibishi, Small Treasure. Protected by the longest barrier reef, hooked along the sandy coastline beneath, from the Hamels, well liked by all street relief. A mixture of modern and historical, the naturality seems rhetorical, brings all with orderliness so powerful. The carefully manicured and colorful, dazzling explosion of flowers that all lined along the road or neighbors' gardens call full attention to its unique attraction. $1,000,000 views, oh, so admirable. From the envelope, the gates of hell, red rocks, to the soul view looked a tropical forest alone. Multicolored designs and codices presents a welcome to all. Fasten all through brings new meaning to reach and act problem. With rare brews, natural gem and one-cake fish, refreshing rivers, swims unforgettable, black sand beaches tempt all along coastline. Kalibishi, true to name, its nets are free. To all visitors, it's a welcome relief. Stay a while and explore to your distillery. I'm going to read our second poem. It's a tropical sashi. Ever gaze upon this island treasure? A cherished gem to all bring fast pleasure. Sashay along the granulous Murray. Frolic and beaks there is a bump on tune. Across all the respondents, swap packed. Breathtaking scenery taken aback. Stress roll, tropical forest flame moon. Discover refreshing ponds, cold tender. Betwixt grandeurs, altitudes forsaken. Unfolds riches where catwheels taken. A place to rejuvenate from all aches. Stimulated by mountains and great lakes. A gateway to freedom from all hustle. Vast difference from last sea's bustle. Proudly stand as a diamond amidst gold. Create experiences great and small. Pleasant and hospitable, polluted tree. Won't regret was the invigorating green. Schedule an exotic respite measure and proceed with class in tranquilation. These poems can be found in Island of Affection and Paradise Isle, Book 1.
Hi, once again, I'm leaving you with this look. I am Vicky from the lovely community of Calibishi, and I am the proud indie author Selena Rose of these 5 poetic collections. Island Girl Affection, Cherished Virtues, Resilient Rose, Paradise Isle, Exotic Perspective. Find my books on Amazon, Books to Read, or you can find it in my local store at Calibishi. Or you can also check out the local libraries, both Cosmo and Roseau. Check them out. Feel free to contact me. Links in the bio.
workshop series. Welcome, writers! Before we dive into the craft of writing, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how we'll be spending our time together today. This workshop is divided into 2 parts, each designed to help you build a strong foundation for writing a compelling novel. Part 1, which we will discuss today, will focus on character development and conflict. We'll talk about what makes a memorable protagonist, how flaws drive the story, and the tension between what a character wants versus what they need. You'll also get to do a short writing exercise to create your own original character. This is an interactive workshop. In part 2, we'll explore the roles of the antagonists, the story's climax, and how to create a meaningful resolution. Again, that will be in part 2 of this workshop series, following the next Write-Tukubui workshop. By the end of this session, you should leave with a blueprint for a character-driven story and the tools to bring it to life. So let's get started. Lesson 1. Creating a memorable protagonist or hero. The protagonist is not perfect. They are flawed, layered, and relatable. Here are the key traits of a great protagonist. 1. A clear goal or desire. This drives the plot. What does your character want more than anything? It could be love, revenge, freedom, belonging, or success. 2. A strong flaw or limitation. This makes your character human and creates internal conflict. Common flaws include pride, guilt, fear, or insecurity. A unique voice or perspective. What makes your character's point of view different? How do they see the world? This gives depth and personality to your writing. And 4, an emotional connection with the readers. Readers must feel something for your protagonist, whether it's empathy, admiration, or even frustration. The emotional bond keeps readers invested. Here's an example. Harry Potter. On the surface, he wants to belong, but his deeper need is to believe in himself and embrace his identity. His flaw? He sometimes lets anger cloud his judgment. What makes us care? He's brave, loyal, and stands up to injustice, even when he's afraid. Now, let's break down 2 powerful storytelling forces, want versus need. The want is your character's external goal, the thing they believe will solve their problems or make them whole and happy. The need is the internal truth they must learn to actually grow as a person. The tension between these 2 creates the emotional arc of your story. For example, a character may want to win a prestigious award, but what they need is to accept themselves and let go of perfectionism. So this is where the magic happens. The story unfolds as the protagonist chases their want, but is forced to confront their need. Now it's your turn. Take about 10 minutes and sketch out the basics of your protagonist. Use the following prompts. What is your protagonist's name? How old is he or she or they? What is their biggest goal? Now, give your protagonist one major flaw. For example, fear, guilt, pride, or jealousy. Let's recap. So what makes a great protagonist? A clear goal or desire, a strong flaw or limitation, a unique voice and perspective, and an emotional connection with readers. For example, Harry Potter wants to belong, but needs to believe in himself. Think of your favorite protagonists and characters. What makes them stick with you long after the story ends? Chances are they have a strong desire, a flaw that holds them back, and a way of seeing the world that feels honest. In this section, I want you to reflect on how all four elements work together. A clear goal drives the plot forward. A strong flaw creates conflict. A unique voice makes the story fresh. And emotional connection keeps readers hooked. Remember, perfection is boring. Flawed characters are real, and real characters are unforgettable. Now, let's focus more closely on the concept of want versus need, a key to crafting compelling internal character arcs. Every great story places a character on a journey. That journey often begins with a want, something the character believes will fix their problem or bring them happiness. But along the way, they encounter obstacles that challenge their view of the world. These challenges reveal a need, an emotional truth or realization the character must accept to grow and evolve. Here are some examples. In Little Mermaid, Ariel wants to live on land and be with Prince Eric, but what she needs is to understand that self-worth doesn't come from changing who you are. In The Hunger Games, Katniss wants to survive and protect her sister, but she needs to realize her role in inspiring rebellion and chooses to fight for something bigger than herself. This contrast creates tension and fuels your plot. A story becomes powerful when the character's pursuit of what they want keeps clashing with what they need to learn. Think of want as the plot engine, what moves the story forward, and need as the emotional engine, what gives the story depth. So you need to keep asking yourself, what does your character want? What truth are they avoiding? And how will their journey force them to confront that truth? To apply this to your own story, try writing one sentence that summarizes what your character wants and one sentence that defines what they really need. For example, Jane wants to prove she's the best journalist in New York. Jane needs to accept that being vulnerable makes her a stronger storyteller. The story becomes the space where Jane's desire for recognition forces her into tough choices, revealing that her emotional honesty is her true power. Let's recap and build. You've given your character a name and a strong motivating goal. You've picked one major flaw, something that shapes their decisions. You identify the lie they believe about the world or themselves. Now imagine one scene that will confront this lie. What happens and why does it shake them? Don't overthink it. Go with your instincts and have fun. Next time, we'll explore how to write a good antagonist. How do you make your villain a really good bad guy?
Have you ever seen the magic glasses that can see clearly without glasses? These glasses can not only see far away, but also see near. These smart zoom glasses from Japan are really great. No need to wear lenses. The degree can be used from 100 degrees to 700 degrees. The glasses will automatically adapt to your vision. Can see
Hello, everyone. My name is Valina Yunus, and I'm so happy to join you for the Write-Tukubui Festival. Today, I'd like to introduce you to an initiative that is very close to our hearts, Stories by Children. This movement is all about giving children in Dominica and across the diaspora the chance to tell their own stories in their own voices. Stories by Children was created under the umbrella of the Fernance and Cirilla Family Club, or FCFC. The club itself was founded after Hurricane Maria with the goal of supporting families in health, housing, and education. Out of this, we realized how powerful literacy could be in shaping young minds, and Stories by Children was born. This is not about stories written for children, but stories written by children, authentic, creative, and full of imagination. To date, we've published 3 volumes. Volume 1, Family, the first step, where children reflected on the meaning of family. Volume 2, When I Grow Up, where their dreams, hopes, and ambitions came alive on the page. And Volume 3, Mission Mango, our most recent launch, celebrating creativity through stories, which all incorporated a dog, a mango, and a house at the corner. Altogether, we've published the works of 47 young authors. Some of them have written for 2 or even all 3 volumes. Each story is paired with beautiful illustrations designed to spark imagination while highlighting the authentic voices of our children. The impact has been incredible. Children experience the pride of being published authors. Parents see their children's confidence grow, and communities here in Dominica and in the diaspora have rallied behind this movement. The stories are fun, relatable, and creative. But more importantly, they show our children that their words have value. They learn that their voices matter. We're already preparing for Volume 4 of Stories by Children, and we've launched our 2025 literary competition under the theme Anu Travaille Ensemble, all hands on deck. We are inviting children ages 6 to 16 to submit their original stories, this time including a touch of our Dominican Creole. We can't wait to see the creativity shine once again. I'd like to invite all of you to support this movement. You can purchase Stories by Children books at Jay's Bookstore in Dominica, on Amazon, or at storiesbychildren.org. But beyond buying a book, we warmly welcome collaborations and partnerships. Whether you're in education, publishing, community development, or simply passionate about literacy, we'd love to work with you. Together, we can expand our reach through little libraries, writers' workshops, and even sponsorship of book production and promotion. Your support helps us give children a platform to shine and ensures that their creativity continues to inspire Dominica and the world. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated, and let's continue to nurture young voices, celebrate their creativity, and build a culture of literacy and pride. Thank you, and enjoy the Write-Tukubui Festival.
Hi, my name is True Francis, and I am the author of the poem I Will Be in Stories by Children, Volume 2. I will work with many tools, but first I have to walk through many schools. The job will took me to make others well, to see another day to tell. I will be a magic wand with a scribble hard to understand. I will always have the remedy along with the help of the Almighty. You can read my full story in Stories by Children, Volume 2 at Jay's Bookstore on Amazon and at storiesbychildren.org.
Hi, my name is Zendaya Robinson, and I'm the author of Big Surprise from Stories by Children, Volume 3. My parents told me a long time ago about a beautiful village all by itself on top of a hill between two valleys. The village is about 2.5 miles away from the estate in the southeast of Dominica. There was a family who lived in a cottage on the north side across around the street corner. Mr. Hodge and his wife Merrill gave birth to 5 children. The parents were farmers who grew bananas, lime, cocoa, coffee, oranges, vanilla, vegetables, ground provision, and more. They traded their produce with hustlers who went to the neighboring French islands weekly. They also sold their goods at the Roseau Market. You can read my full story on Stories by Children, Volume 3, available at Jay's Bookstore, Amazon, and storiesbychildren.org.
Hello, my name is Svetlana Frederick, and I am the author of The Mysterious House, Volume 3. Suddenly, I felt a presence behind me, and as I looked back, I jumped at the sight of someone hovering over me. It was then that I heard a gentle voice which said, "It's okay, little girl, don't be afraid." I could not believe my eyes. It was old Mrs. Herman and her 7-year-old granddaughter, Melanie, smiling down at me. "Oh, you came just in time for cookies and mango juice," exclaimed Melanie excitedly. "Come on in," said Mrs. Herman in a calm tone. You can read my full story in Stories by Children, available at Jay's Bookstore, on Amazon, and at storiesbychildren.org.
Hi, my name is Carissa Baron, and I am the author of The Derelict Terrifying Mansion, Stories by Children, Volume 3. I suddenly heard screeching and hissing from somewhere around in this mansion. At this point, I started to feel like this house was haunted. You can read my full story in Stories by Children, Volume 3, available at Jay's Bookstore, on Amazon, and at storiesbychildren.org.
Hi, my name is Abby Saho, and I am the author of Sweet Mango from Stories by Children, Volume 3, Mission Mango. The place was dark and gloomy, and Veronica was scared, but that did not prevent her from venturing in. She would do anything to get her sweet mango back. Once she entered the building, the door suddenly shut. Bang! She was trapped. Julia laughed mischievously. She grabbed Veronica and was tying her to a chair when, boom! You can read my full story in Stories by Children, Volume 3, available at Jay's Bookstore, Amazon, and at storiesbychildren.org. Thank you.
I gazed upon the potted plant, caged in ceramic art, stretching encased limbs to the only source of light. I envisioned tangled roots, suffocated by lack of space, wondering if there was a way out, begging gravity, limited growth. Where else is there to go? Soften the hearts of the gardener, mend his thoughts, show him the way. No plant can grow forever this way. What care is defined by rules? That there should be a timeline, do's and don'ts, an endpoint. Thus the pot is the safeguard, the shield. Why don't you set these roots free? No use ensnaring and not caring. Mother Earth will cherish the fibers, provide its needs when necessary. Let the shoots respond to photons, stimuli unabridged. That way, stemmy arms will breathe fresher air. Freedom at last portrayed, from wilting and yellow to bright and green. Colors of richness, colors of life. Someone said, if you love it, then set it free. I say, if you love it, nourish and let it blossom. Chronologically, one step will follow another. That's the order of life. No use to try, it'll happen on its own. Seasons change, humans fear what they can't understand. Equilibrium must be maintained. Never hope for the intangible. Make your hopes tangible. Chew mouthfuls when fed. You never know when your next meal is.
Hey guys, this is Kelly Kwam. I'm just going to read an excerpt from my book, Me and All Else. I'll be taking a piece of chapter 13 to read for you guys, so here goes. Imagine while getting yourself together to head into Roseau, you then remember it is Christmas Day. Carrie and I traditionally did our own thing on said day after we ceased from going to families' houses. We go to the city on Christmas Eve together after buying each other one surprise gift prior to the day. We would visit our grandmother after church and we just relax. That's if Sis doesn't choose to take us to Alan's family. I love going to their house as they're not my type of people. Mama doesn't take in their spirit either, but holds her tongue because of Carrie. They're the type to think me coming over to their house on Christmas Day is some huge favor. I take the simple gift bought for Carrie and place it atop her drawer. There's nothing on mine, likely indicating that she didn't get me one. Maybe she forgot, or got busy, or maybe she did. She just decided not to care. Everything's changing. Nothing seems to be progressing on my end. It's like I'm circling instead of moving forward. I sometimes think the God that's supposed to be my father has abandoned me, and he just places my prayers on file like most companies do when you apply, knowing they'll never get back to you. Hey! I jump as Carrie carries into the room. Merry Christmas, I responded after taking a few seconds to get my heartbeat back to normal. She eyes the gift on the dresser and runs to open it. You got me a gift? She chirped as I silently scoffed. What is it? Her eyes wide with excitement. It's a bomb. I rolled my eyes at her caution while opening the gift like it was indeed an actual bomb. I visualize a bomb exploding as she opens the gift. I shake the thought and laugh inwardly. She squeals as the package reveals the gift. I can't believe you got me this. She places the necklace where it will soon be and admires it in the mirror. I'm definitely gonna wear it today. Where did you find it? It matches my favorite earrings. That's why I got them. I'm content she loves it so much. Glad you like them. I stand to walk out the room. Hey, where are you going? She comes to face me. You know, I missed you at church today. She looks to her side, then to her restless fingers, then back at me. It's the first time we are not together to compare and judge the best Christmas outfits. A faint laugh escapes her mouth. First time for everything, I smile. I'm sure you did fine without me. Have a good day, sis. Her face falls. Walking out the door, she calls to me. I'm sorry. I didn't get you a gift. She starts fidgeting. I have no excuse, really. I will get you one next week. No, it's fine. The words flew out my mouth harshly, mainly from the subdued hurt of her not getting me a gift. It's not the gift, but the reason why the gift was not gotten. She continues apprehensively. Alan and I are going to a new recently opened restaurant. We're bringing Mama. I want you to come if you're up to it. Just give everyone my greetings. If you're up to it. I walk out the door, leaving her with a disappointed face. And that's the end of my excerpt. I'm sorry if the reading was a bit poor just because of my eyesight, so it was a bit troublesome for me. But I hope you guys enjoyed, the bit of the book. And if you wish to find out what's more in there, you can always support me and enjoy when we do get the book. But thanks for listening and have a blessed one. Bye.
More boxes, more options.
I'll be on my way. Tell Elmer to lead my 9 nights for the village to pray. Amen. Amen. And ask Roy to bring the banjo and accordion to play.
And when I die, don't write family too numerous to mention.
Mm-hmm. When I was sick, when I was in pain, they were elsewhere having fun. Especially the Monsieur who took off to London. In the will, next to her name, I write in none. When I die, bury me in a nice cream dress and make sure my chocolate resting nicely on my chest. And no need to call it nuts or gentle rest. Make a box, vanish, and bring Father Brandler to bless. When I die, and when I die, don't sing Amazing Grace. Hashtag Grace pa amazing. Ivole fig when, Ivole lacha when, Ijivole maui when.
Emo News, I love you. Mwah. But when I die,
Mete kamara abishine when. Me, I just getting up. The congregation must disappear. As for Mete Albertine, Lemwembo, Ike we good play. Mais somewhere to go, someday. Sorry, damn it. When I die, put me to light on by. Felix Henderson. Oh my finger, afternoon. Or maybe tonight, so we can have a spotlight for a while. But a chat with Dr. Bully might be best by far, as we reminisce of Jesus Christ, superstar. When I die and the dirt cover me, no time to retire quietly. Start the party, toasting spice. Nice.
What about a Zaid?
And what about a baby? I lived and I loved. Now it's bye to the old me. We passing, we just passing.
Sometimes the words won't come, but every wave carries a story waiting to be told. Every smile, every exchange holds a spark of inspiration. Let the colors guide your words. Write like the tide, free and unrestrained. Let the waves guide your thoughts. Inspiration is everywhere, waiting in the ordinary moments. You just have to look.
Hi, I'm Benjabite. What's the story? What do you think is happening in this picture? Create your own story idea and drop it in the comments below.